comes to talk. Well, there's no other way to put this. It's Monday!
Yay.
Are you reading me?
Yeah, it's interactive.
Yeah, it's Monday, and I hope you had a nice weekend. I don't know about you, but I am sick and tired of the weather.
Yes.
The winds are just ridiculous, which makes it feel, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
last night I went out. I was taking out the recyclables and stuff, and I went, "It's warm out. What's going on?" But the wind, blowing stuff over, blowing stuff into the streets. Be careful while you're out and about.
So, Paul, it's currently, my weather app says it's 38. It was, the day started at 64 degrees at midnight.
64 to 38. And does it say feels like because of the wind, if it feels colder?
Let me check that real quick. I'll get back to you. I think actual air temperature.
Right.
I don't have a feels like
Doesn't
temperature.
have a feels like. All right. Well,
but
anyway,
I'm going to guess it feels colder. Yeah, right.
But 38's bad enough.
Right.
And we've had, of course, our St. Patrick's Day celebration broadcast is tomorrow. I hope you will tune in. You are invited to tune in and be a part of it. We've had snow on St. Patrick's Day broadcasts in the past.
We've had snow on opening day, which is like a month after.
Right. What am I saying? Of course we have. All right. Well, it was not a good weekend for U of M fans or Michigan State fans in this whole tournament thing. The Big Ten tournament championship didn't go well for either of us. But the NCAA brackets are set. Michigan State's a 3 seed. That's pretty good, don't you think?
Yeah, especially, I mean, the Big Ten was really, really good this year, too.
Yeah. Of course, we know, unfortunately, they lost to UCLA 88-84 on Friday night in that Big Ten tournament. They're going to face North Dakota State Thursday at 4:05. Of course, we'll be broadcasting that. Do we get to broadcast the whole tournament or just follow Michigan State? Do you have any idea? I don't know.
So we are, of course, like you said, all of Michigan State. We are broadcasting the tournament. I think, if I remember last year, it was kind of like an NFL Red Zone thing where they kind of would zip around to all a bunch of different games. And then obviously as the tournament goes on and there's less and less games, you get the whole Final Four, you get the whole NCAA championship. So yeah, there'll be plenty of college basketball, both Michigan State and otherwise here on WJR.
Right. Michigan locked up the number 1 seed despite losing to Purdue 80-72.
Yeah, that was quite a beatdown that we were not expecting.
Yeah, I was not expecting. But they had their hands full in this whole tournament. They played unlike any of the games during the regular season where they won big oftentimes. They just got away with it a few times that they did win, and they didn't get away with it with Purdue losing 80-72 in the Big Ten tournament championship. Now, Michigan will take on the winner of Howard versus UMBC Thursday night at 7:10 p.m.
Yeah, that's one of those games where it's like last 4 in, where they added like a second, like a pre-round to determine to round out the
Are you
original.
saying that Howard and UMBC are not big deal teams, which always worries me because then the team doesn't get up for the game?
Right, and there's always one team that makes a run that you're not expecting.
Right.
Obviously, the Cinderella element.
So that the brackets are all destroyed within 10, 15 minutes.
Right.
Whoever controls the brackets gets to keep the money. I don't know how that works. Doesn't matter. Anyway, we do have the team here. You can hear Mike Parsons. Our executive producer, Danielle Mason, is out and about, but in and out. There she is. And She is, of course, the queen of switches. Rich Luzinski keeping track of the WJR traffic and weather first for you. You know, you can get it on your phone, but it's also better to get it from Rich. He can add a lot of information while you're streaming us or podcasting us. If you have to come back, you can do all that at WJR.com. I do hope you have the free WJR app. And of course, you can see us if you want, if you're in a position to do that. Facebook and YouTube pages have live streaming right now. So we're glad that we're here. What is this? Is this the third week of entering the war?
Yes, I believe so. We're in the third.
We're not concluding the third week. We're starting the third week. I'm not sure if I heard that right.
Right.
All right. We have our own war situation here, and we have to be aware of that, as we certainly learned with Temple Israel in West Bloomfield. And I found it fascinating that most of the people interviewed there, the significant people, which is all of the people, that they were, I'm not sure the word they used, disappointed or shocked, or they were disappointed but not surprised, I guess.
Right.
Meaning this is what they practiced for, because this is the way of the world right now. And the fact that they spend more money on protecting themselves, then that's like their first line item of money needed to be Jewish, which is so unbelievable and unacceptable.
Yeah, it's a terrible burden to have to carry.
It is. And the front page of the Detroit News, above the fold today, the award-winning Detroit News serving Michigan since 1873, the Temple attacker's brother found to be a Hezbollah commander. And you got to ask yourself, in Dearborn Heights, in that whole entire area, how many Hezbollah sympathizers are there, and that we have to be concerned about. If they're listening, which they are not, I would remind them they are Americans and have been given great opportunity by being in America and being Americans. If you're not here illegally, if you are, get the hell out, or you will be found by ICE. As much as the Democrats and the media wants to put ICE down, ICE has a job that they are following as given to them by Congress. They followed it in a unfortunate way given their leadership, but there's a change of leadership, and they should not be bullies to anyone anymore, but they should continue to do their job. All right, another story that's been around, and I don't agree with Nancy Kaffer very often, from the Detroit Free Press USA Today Network editorial page editor. From a political standpoint, we're from different ideologies and worlds, but I did enjoy her. When was this? This must have been Sunday. Sunday. Raw milk fight is a sign of the times. Well, if raw milk is a sign of the times, I'm not putting her down. I liked her column on this, because I've been wondering what is all the talk about raw milk? It's foolishness is what all the talk about raw milk is. It's ridiculous. You may as well say, well, yeah, I think raw milk is really good, and the earth is flat. Of course, you know that, right? Of course the earth is flat. You know that. You're not one of those stupid people that thinks the earth looks like the globe that we see when they fake those rocket and moon shots that don't really exist, because those are on a stage somewhere. If you want to be in that group, go for the raw milk and pass up the technology that has saved millions of lives. That technology in this case, I'm not saying millions of lives have saved from keeping people from drinking raw milk. I don't think there are millions of people who want to drink raw milk, but be that as it may, let me introduce you to an idea here, folks. It's called pasteurization. And you know why they came up with pasteurization? Was to take the cow poop and everything else that's in that raw milk out of the raw milk and make it healthier. Duh! What could be so hard to understand and to move on and worry about other things than getting raw milk approved? What's the point? Next up, they'll be fighting for spoiled sushi.
Putting grass on your sandwich.
That's what grass-fed means, isn't it? I don't know. Did I get out of the wrong side of bed? I don't know. I might have. If I see one more story in the news saying gas prices might be $3.80 a gallon. My goodness, it's still under what it was when Joe Biden was president in 2022. I don't remember them carrying on the same way. You know, the Trump derangement syndrome, I understand it, but not when it gets in your way of doing your job, Alyssa Slotkin. Oh, did I say that out loud? I used to think she was pretty straight shooter, pretty bright. I didn't always agree with her, but I respected her. But the Trump derangement syndrome has caused her to go off on all these other crazy areas that I just don't understand why she is. But whatever. Anything else? Is there anything else on your mind, Michael?
Yes, but you know what? We've got a lot of shows, so let's save some of it.
Oh, all right. Just because the music's playing, I guess we have to go.
You're on a roll, so this could go on all day. So we got to.
Well, I don't think so. All right. As you're on your way to making each and every day count, because each day is a gift, we're happy to be with you. About the QTR that Kim has reminded us about, quality time remaining. So make the most of it. If you're not living the life you've always wanted, then live the life you've always wanted, because it's never too late to correct that and make it better. And I do thank you for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. And that's what you are when you listen to this great station, WJR. It is 12:16 with Paul W. Smith. Well, the weather is warming up, albeit windy, and albeit only 38 degrees. We went from 64 at the start of this morning to 38 right now. This is not a good trend, but I can promise you the weather is warming up. So it's time to start thinking about home improvement projects. And the most important yet overlooked spring home improvement project is to be sure to get your roof inspected to make sure it's still keeping the water outside of your home. Now, the freeze-thaw cycles of the winter can cause the shingles on your roof to become brittle and develop these tiny micro cracks in them. I want you to call Victor's Home Solutions today. Right now would be good while you're thinking about it. Before the spring rush hits, schedule that free 21-point roof inspection. They're going to go over every square inch of your roof and make sure there is nowhere water can get in. This also allows you to catch minor problems early and fix them with an inexpensive repair. Repairing water damage from a leaky roof is far more expensive than keeping your roof maintained and making minor repairs along the way. Now's the time to do it. If it is time for a new roof, Victor's has you covered. I know from them doing my roof, 2 of them, in fact. Prompt follow-up, on-time appointments, clear communication, perfect installation the first time, and cleanup that is, well, the best in the business as far as I can tell. They also offer an industry-leading 50-year leak-free guarantee on every roof they install. So call today before the spring rains get into your home. Call 1-866-VICTORS. That's an easy number to remember. 1-866-VICTORS. 866-VICTORS. Of course, you can go online at victors.com. Victors.com. All right, it's Monday, the 16th of March, the day before our Thanksgiving celebration.
It feels like Thanksgiving out there.
It does. Thanks for saving me. The day before our St. Patrick's Day celebration, which you can listen to from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Thank you to your daily dose of Dietz and All Talk's Kevin Dietz for giving us an hour of his show. I didn't choose that. Management chooses it, and I'm glad they did. 11 to 2 tomorrow. Listen in for our St. Patrick's Day broadcast. We continue in focus on WJR.
Do you have an IRA or 401k? You want to think of this as being your money. But remember, you still have to pay taxes when you withdraw this money in retirement. And these taxes, well, they could be a lot higher than you know. Learn how you could reduce or potentially eliminate these taxes with a free retirement tax savings analysis. It's from the Brzezinski Group, a second-generation financial advisory firm right here in Metro Detroit. If you saved at least $250,000 Schedule your free analysis now by calling 800-641-3361. This free analysis could save you tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in retirement. Call 800-641-3361. That's 800-641-3361. Investment advisory services offered only by duly registered individuals through AE Wealth Management, LLC. Firm does not provide legal or tax advice.
Have an authentic Irish experience this St. Patrick's Day with Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Located in the heart of Eastern Market, Wigley's corned beef has been a Detroit tradition since 1924. Call 888-WIGLEYS today or visit Wigleys.com. This St. Patrick's Day weekend, keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, don't rely on the luck of the Irish. Use a ride share or designated driver from your friends at Michigan Auto Law, auto accident attorneys.
You know that feeling, Detroit. You're merging onto the lodge or hitting the 696 rush and your eyelids feel like they weigh 10 pounds each. We just sprung forward for daylight saving time, and for many of us in the Motor City, that lost hour is still catching up. March is National Sleep Awareness Month, and while we're the city that keeps the world moving, we can't do it safely if we're running on empty. Drowsy driving is just as dangerous as drunk driving. Exactly what you don't need when you're navigating something like a Michigan construction zone. Prioritize your best slept self. Cool down your room. Put the phone away an hour before bed, and if you're feeling a micro sleep behind the wheel, pull over. Let's keep our streets safe and our minds sharp. Visit theNSF.org or search Sleep Awareness Month for more tips. Sleep well, Detroit. We've got a big day tomorrow.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Hair volume from New Nordic will make your hair look thick and healthy. Available as a tablet or a delicious gummy, Hair Volume is available online at Amazon and NewNordicUSA.com or in the hair care aisle at your local CVS.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Pro-Life Across America.
Hi, I'm Angie. Did you know a billboard can save a baby's life? It's true. You can make a difference by helping us spread the pro-life message to reach those who are struggling with an unplanned pregnancy. Please make a gift today. Visit prolifeacrossamerica.org.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Boeing at thumbcoasttheaters.com. Experience live professional theater at Thumb Coast Theaters in downtown St. Clair and Marine City, where the magic of Broadway comes alive right here at home. Don't miss Boeing, the hilarious comedy where one flight captain, three fiancés, and a flight schedule collide. Book your tickets today at thumbcoasttheaters.com. We have an accident on M59 westbound at Hayes Road, another wreck on I-94 eastbound after Little Mac. That's causing stop and go from Gratiot Avenue, blocking your two right lanes. We also have an accident on Telegraph Road northbound at Ford Road. Still have construction on the Lodge southbound between Glendale Street and Webb Street. Some road work slowing you down on the Jeffries in both directions between I-275 and Levan. Keep in mind the I-275 southbound off-ramp to westbound M14 closed until early November. And we still have that broken water main on 14 Mile Road between Drake and Farmington. Please avoid until further notice. That strip of roadway is closed for the time being. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Front pushing through now, and snow showers and squalls possible as we get into the remainder of the day. Falling temperatures into the low 30s, maybe even the upper 20s in some spots. A wind advisory for strong winds that'll become northwest, gusting to 40-plus miles per hour. So tough afternoon out there, especially with the high-profile vehicles. There are winter weather advisories west and north. Tonight, that chance of snow will continue early, cloudy overnight, 19 in town. Suburbs colder, still windy at times. Tomorrow, cloudy, breezy, and cold, only 29. Wednesday, still unseasonably chilly, but better, cloudy, 38. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming up Tuesday on JR Morning, we'll keep you up to date on everything that's happening in Iran. Also, Mark Wayne Mullen set to start his Senate confirmation hearings this week. What is he likely to face? And we'll hear from a local AI company who's helping the autos keep up in an increasingly digital world. Stream us on the free WJR app, WJR.com, and we'll talk with you at 6 a.m.
Well, you know what? We should have, Mr. Parsons, put Dave Rieger on to talk about the Academy Awards. I thought the show was good. Okay. There's a couple of columns out that I didn't even read that are talking about they had a lot of issues. They had a lot of things go wrong. I saw a couple of things, but I watch it because it's a live broadcast. So
we can grab them at 1 or 1:45 if you want.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that because he just stopped by the studio and said, and this is, of course, this is from Dave Rieger's perspective. He likes to put money down. He gambles on stuff. He said that all of the DraftKings, one of those online gambling things, all of the DraftKings picks won.
Yes.
At the Academy Awards.
He'll join us at 1:00, but yeah, that's what he told me.
That's crazy. I mean, does that mean? Well, I'll ask him. I'll save the questions 1:00 after the 1:00 WJR News. We'll have an update, final word, I guess, on the Academy Awards. And I'm going to go look for those two articles I scanned over this morning, talking about. They said things that went wrong, but people are always looking for negative. They're always looking for something bad. It's just the way things are these days, which is why we do our best. Try to do relentless positive radio the best we can. All right. And we turn to experts who can help us do that sometimes, even though not all the topics are obviously positive. As we check in with our friend Andy Arena, director of the Detroit Crime Commission, former special agent in charge of the FBI Detroit office. And the investigation continues with the Temple Israel attack. No better way to put that. That's what it was, a Temple Israel attack. We do know that the FBI has taken over the investigation, and we've since found that the Temple attacker's brother said to be a Hezbollah commander. Andy, it's always a pleasure. I'm sorry, lately it's about bad news that we have to talk with you about, but it's a pleasure having you on. Do you like the woman who's now in charge of the Detroit office?
I've not met her. I've heard good things about her, but I have not had the opportunity to meet with her. So I hope to have lunch with her at some point. They're I guess I'm getting old, Paul, because they look so young.
Well, tell her we would love to have her on at her convenience, and tell her. Oh, see, all I have to do is hope for these things, and she's on tomorrow with us, according to Mike. So. Oh, well, yes, I know she's on at the St. Patrick's Day party, but I won't really get a chance to have any deep, meaningful conversation with her. We are going from 11 to 2, but we have about 300 guests. So at least I'll meet her and we will talk with her. We want to get her on sometime for a long, meaningful conversation. And you can tell her, I hope you would, that she'll be among friends. Anyway, is there anything?
Well, I'm one of the 300 tomorrow, Paul. So I'll give me an opportunity. I'll introduce myself. Sure.
Well, this is good that we're bringing you together. That's perfect. That's what this party is all about. Bringing people together to celebrate in spite of some of the tough times. We are a great country and a great people. Sometimes we need to remind ourselves, and oftentimes we need to take a break like this and celebrate, which is what we're planning on doing tomorrow. From Doyle's Irish Pub out there at St. John's. All right, Andy, what's the very latest that you can tell us about this Dearborn Heights man who attacked Temple Israel?
Well, yeah, we're starting to see more information come out on this individual. And I think over the next few days, Paul, it's going to be a lot more coming out, right? So the Israelis are saying that that his brother was a Hezbollah commander. Everything the Israelis say you have to take with a grain of salt, but I could see it. I mean, I'm not shocked by that. There are many people in the Lebanese Shia community, and they look at Hezbollah as, this charitable organization, this, political party. And, I'm Catholic. So back in the day, they used to say that about the Irish Republican Army, right? At the end of the day, they're a designated terrorist organization. Prior to September 11th, 2001, they killed more Americans than any other terrorist organization. So they are terrorists. So, I think that, if there's this link, I would not be shocked by it, Paul.
Well, you bring up an excellent point, Andy Arena, as you always do, and that is we look at Hezbollah as this terrorist organization, which they are. The people in Lebanon look at Hezbollah as the people that get them food when they're starving. They look at Hezbollah as the people who can get dentists for people who need dentists. Hezbollah, quote unquote, takes care of many people in Lebanon. And so they look at them almost like we look at our Red Cross, for God's sakes. It's a good point you bring up.
Yeah, to some, Paul. I mean, Lebanon is a very diverse country. You've got a third of the country is Christian, a third is Shia Muslim, and a third is Sunni. And so, to at least a third of that country, yeah, they are seen as saviors. The other two-thirds, maybe not so much.
Yeah, well, we know not so much. And we also know there are plenty of people in Lebanon who want Hezbollah to get the hell out, or at the very least, stop lobbing bombs at Israel, which causes Israel to bring hellfire to them. I mean, that's just the reality. If you bomb Israel from Lebanon, Israel's going to bomb Lebanon. And the Lebanese people are not stupid. They're living it. So, well, we'll see. Hey, I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow.
I appreciate it, Paul. See you tomorrow.
I'll be the guy in a green fog. Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
Andy Arena, director of the Detroit Crime Commission, former special agent in charge of the FBI Detroit office. And together, we will meet the woman in charge of the Detroit FBI office at our St. Patrick's Day party. You be tuned in from 11 to 2 as we continue In Focus on WJR.
Williams International in Pontiac is looking for skilled trades talent able to work second and third shifts and will be hosting an on-site job fair Wednesday, March 18th from 4 till 7 p.m. To learn more, visit the careers page at williams-int.com. Clark Construction Company is one of the premier construction managers in Michigan for K-12 education. They assist districts with bond planning, facility assessments, and bond campaigns. They manage the construction to help districts fulfill their promise to their community till the school doors open on time for fall, all while keeping students and staff's safety top of mind. Clark's breadth of capabilities ensures that they can meet their clients' needs every time on every front. Details at clarkcc.com.
A Social Security update. 70 million Americans collect Social Security benefits today, and millions more will join soon. Now, a new study finds 70% of Americans don't get the full benefits they deserve. But recipients can use simple strategies to boost Social Security benefits by as much as $188,000 over a lifetime. Social Security expert Michael Allen says it's true and reveals 5 key strategies to increase your benefits. It's all in his free special report from Newsmax. Newsmax calls the report your best guide for bigger Social Security benefits. Whether you're getting benefits or soon will, you need this Social Security report from Newsmax. Get it free. Call 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. We'll text it to you right away, along with President Trump's act cutting your Social Security taxes. Call now, 800-999-9690. 800-999-9690. Text and data rates may apply.
Planning spring business travel? Start your trip the professional way with Metro Cars. Rather than dealing with crowded airport parking garages, shuttle buses, and long walks through the terminal with luggage and briefcase in hand, let a professional Metro Cars chauffeur pick you up right at your doorstep and take you directly to curbside check-in. For executives and corporate travelers, time and reliability matter. Whether you're catching an early morning flight, arriving for an important meeting, or arranging transportation for visiting clients and leadership teams, Metro Cars provides dependable airport transportation designed around your schedule. With experienced chauffeurs on a premium fleet of sedans, SUVs, vans, and buses, Metro Cars delivers a comfortable, quiet ride that allows you to stay focused and arrive prepared. Celebrating over 35 years of excellence, Metro Cars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Trust the transportation company Michigan business travelers have relied on for decades. Reserve your ride today at metrocars.com.
You know that feeling, Detroit. You're merging onto the lodge, you're hitting the 696 rush, and your eyelids feel like they weigh 10 pounds each. We just sprung forward for daylight saving time, and for many of us in the Motor City, that lost hour is still catching up. March is National Sleep Awareness Month, and while we're the city that keeps the world moving, we can't do it safely if we're running on empty. Drowsy driving is just as dangerous as drunk driving. Exactly what you don't need when you're navigating something like a Michigan construction zone. Prioritize your best slept self. Cool down your room. Put the phone away an hour before bed, and if you're feeling a micro sleep behind the wheel, pull over. Let's keep our streets safe and our minds sharp. Visit theNSF.org or search Sleep Awareness Month for more tips. Sleep well, Detroit. We've got a big day tomorrow.
So much uncertainty out there, but it isn't your enemy if you have a good retirement plan. And that was the reassuring advice I got from Chris Alberta of Principium.
Retirement's a journey. And one of the things that Chris Alberta, my friend at Principium, has told me time and again, you're more likely to stumble coming down the mountain than you are going up. Is that true?
Yeah, because gravity matters, right? You fall on the way down, you're going to tumble. You fall a little bit on the way up, you slip, and then you come back up.
But why is that?
Do it every week.
What is it about the decumulation that's so risky?
It's just the expression, the nonlinear expression of how money gets pulled out. Every time you take out that 4 or 5% of what's in that portfolio, and you're comfortable doing that, and we as an industry are comfortable distributing that money, everything changes if you lose 30 or 40%. Think about it. If your $100,000 or your $1 million drops to 600, but your income needs haven't changed, that 5% is not going to cut it anymore. You have to take out 8, 9, 10% a year. That's not sustainable.
Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949.
Wow, did you see this?
Barrett News Media. What is that?
Well, they're a national publishing and consulting firm. Media professionals all read their stuff. But look at who they have in the top 15 of the best radio shows in the entire country.
Oh, Focus with Paul W. Smith.
Yeah. JR Morning with Chris Renwick, Lloyd Jackson, and Jamie Edmonds.
And, of course, The Mitch Albom Show.
I guess that's what they mean when they say the great voices of the Great Lakes.
I always thought I had a pretty great voice. I really do.
Don't sing, hon. Don't. It ain't that great.
Barrett News Media says they're the tops in the country. Catch all of the great weekday shows and see for yourself. The great voices of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR. You're hearing Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
President is on talking about the Kennedy Center, but of course everyone asks him about the war and all of that. So if anything comes up, Mike assures me we'll put it up on the air. But at this moment, we continue with, as scheduled, our programming. And we welcome an attorney from Minnesota. He's a partner at Moorman, Cardall, and Erickson, PA. His name is Eric Cardall, Esquire. He's the lead attorney representing people accused of being false electors in the 2020 election, who are now, after being basically attacked by our Attorney General, now they're suing Attorney General Dana Nessel. To bring us up to date, here is Eric Cardall. Eric, my name's Paul W. Smith. Welcome to Michigan.
Well, it's great to be on. Thank you so much.
So I don't know who sent out this press release, probably not you, but it starts off with Michigan's failed Attorney General Dana Nessel. And then it goes on with a quote from Michonne Maddock, one of the victorious 2020 Michigan electors that you've represented. Quote, Dana Nessel, who is perhaps the worst lawyer in the USA. I don't know. I always went by the how to win friends and influence people, and I don't think that starting out that way makes the most sense. But you're right there on the front line. Tell me about it.
Yeah, I mean, my investigation basically led to filing the notice of intent to sue. There's no lawsuit yet, but your audience should be concerned about investigating what I've been seeing, and that is the role of 501c3s, particularly the state's United Democracy Center had a contract with the Michigan Attorney General. And we see this in other states, Wisconsin and Arizona, where there were prosecution of the 2020 electors. And they seem to have these contracts to provide legal advice to push the prosecutors in the pre-charging phase to select their political opponents for prosecution.
The whole idea here is you haven't done it yet, but to sue Dana Nessel, the false electors defendants, if you will, to sue Dana Nessel alleging malicious prosecution. The whole idea, I think that was from Bridge, Michigan, the whole idea being that everything she was doing, and we have seen this, was politically based, basically.
Right. So it was Dana, so Attorney General had a contract with a progressive group called the States United Democracy Center. And this is a contract with a law firm to provide legal advice. And pre-charging, it appears that the States United Democracy Center was promoting or pushing the Attorney General to charge the electors with crimes. And so that's all kind of secret under attorney-client privilege. But the Judicial Watch investigation in Michigan, Wisconsin, and Arizona have now produced documents that States United Democracy Center was at the center of promoting this. So imagine if you had a political opponent that organized a 501c3 and got into the Attorney General's office and was pushing for you to be prosecuted. You think that's unfair too. It's just a really bad policy to have 501c3s in there pre-charging. We should have independent prosecutors and employees reviewing materials rather than having political opponents trying to grind a political axe through prosecution.
Well, you have said, if I can read one of your quotes, government, and I can't argue with this, government officials who weaponize their offices against citizens for political purposes must be held accountable under the law. I don't know who could be against that statement.
Well, right. And so here, particularly the policy, and I need more documents. They're coming in slowly, but I do have the document from Arizona showing that the progressive nonprofit was behind the charges brought in Arizona. The same nonprofit had a contract with Michigan Attorney General, and the result was the same type of charges. So we need to investigate more, but we don't want nonprofits influencing charging decisions of nonprofits because they can go after their political opponents.
Right, which appears to be the case, or just on the outside looking in and hearing what you're saying to me. We haven't heard from the Dana Nessel people at this point. Do you think, and I'm sure you're a great attorney and your law firm is a great one, Eric, but do you think they had to come to Minnesota because Michigan attorneys would be afraid to go up against Dana Nessel?
Yeah, I think there's an issue there just with respect to retaliation and so forth, but I have specialized in election integrity work in Michigan and Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. We had some victories a couple years ago in Ypsilanti and East Lansing regarding some ordinances that violated the Constitution regarding elections. So we're very excited about litigating in Michigan. We've been doing it for a long time.
All right. Good to meet you. I'm sure we'll talk again. Eric Cardall, the Esquire partner at Mormon, Cardall, and Erickson, PA. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same as we continue in focus at WJR at 1243. I think you know if you've been a listener, and if not, welcome. Good to have you here. But you should know that I've known Mike Fallahy for a very long time. He's done a lot of work on my homes. He is a good friend. His family's been running Marygrove in Detroit for over 90 years. 90. That means they were building shade in this town before most companies even existed. And they still do it. Frankly, they do it the Detroit way. Strong, precise, built to last. Marygrove only makes motorized awnings, no crank handles, no gimmicks. You hit the remote, you get instant shade. If rain's coming in, adjust the pitch. Sun goes down, built-in LED lights. Wind kicks up like it is right now, add the sensor, and it protects itself by rolling in automatically. I suggest get the sensor. Premium framing, fully enclosed housing to protect the fabric, backed by a 10-year warranty. And here's what else really separates them from anyone else. Marygrove can often complete the entire process in as little as 48 hours. That's not 6 weeks. That's not, we'll get back to you when we can. That's this week. Wow. No third-party installers either. No dealer games. Real Marygrove employees, start to finish. I've welcomed many of them to my house and in my house. They are the best. They're all Marygrove employees. If you're going to put something on your home, make it something built by a Detroit company that's been doing it right for over 90 years. Go to marygrove.com. While you're thinking of it, go to marygrove.com or call 1-800-44-AWNING. That's an easy number, 800-44-AWNING. I can hear the singers in my brain. 1-800, yes, I do have a brain. In the back of my mind, then, 1-800-44-AWNING. Schedule the free in-home appointment. Tell them Paul W. sent you. It'll be good that you did that. Marygrove, Detroit tough, 90 years strong. 1-800-44-AWNING. We continue on WJR.
You know that feeling, Detroit. You're merging onto the lodge or hitting the 696 rush and your eyelids feel like they weigh 10 pounds each. We just sprung forward for daylight saving time, and for many of us in the Motor City, that lost hour is still catching up. March is National Sleep Awareness Month, and while we're the city that keeps the world moving, we can't do it safely if we're running on empty. Drowsy driving is just as dangerous as drunk driving. Exactly what you don't need when you're navigating something like a Michigan construction zone. Prioritize your best slept self. Cool down your room. Put the phone away an hour before bed, and if you're feeling a micro sleep behind the wheel, pull over. Let's keep our streets safe and our minds sharp. Visit theNSF.org or search Sleep Awareness Month for more tips. Sleep well, Detroit. We've got a big day tomorrow.
This is Maria Monti, tax partner at Metro Detroit accounting firm Schindel Rock, with our weekly tax tip for business owners. Whether you just started your business or have been in business for many years, you should make sure your current entity structure still makes sense. Tax laws are always changing, and the tax structure you started out with may not be as effective for what your business is today or what it will be in the future. Schindel Rock helps Metro Detroit businesses solve complex tax matters. Learn more at SchindelRock.com.
Williams International in Pontiac is looking for skilled trades talent able to work second and third shifts and will be hosting an on-site job fair Wednesday, March 18th from 4 till 7 p.m. To learn more, visit the careers page at williams-int.com.
The NCAA tournament field is set, and hopefully your bracket predictions are done. The big dance tips off tomorrow and Wednesday with first 4 games from Dayton. Then on Thursday, it's first-round action from Buffalo, Oklahoma City, Portland, and Greenville, South Carolina. To make sure you don't miss any of the action, stay tuned for Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the NCAA men's and women's tournaments right here.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Planning spring business travel? Start your trip the professional way with Metro Cars. Rather than dealing with crowded airport parking garages, shuttle buses, and long walks through the terminal with luggage and briefcase in hand, let a professional Metro Cars chauffeur pick you up right at your doorstep and take you directly to curbside check-in. For executives and corporate travelers, time and reliability matter. Whether you're catching an early morning flight, arriving for an important meeting, or arranging transportation for visiting clients and leadership teams, Metro Cars provides dependable airport transportation designed around your schedule. With experienced chauffeurs on a premium fleet of sedans, SUVs, vans, and buses, Metro Cars delivers a comfortable, quiet ride that allows you to stay focused and arrive prepared. Celebrating over 35 years of excellence, Metro Cars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Trust the transportation company Michigan business travelers have relied on for decades. Reserve your ride today at metrocars.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by AutoZone. Get in the zone. Starting stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement. Batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Paramount Roofing. A new roof doesn't have to wait. With Paramount Roofing, pay no money down and enjoy 5 years at 0% interest. Get your instant free roof quote now at weareroofing.com. Built to last, backed for life, for homes and businesses alike. Paramount Roofing. Roofing made easy. 24-Mile Road is closed in both directions between Hayes and Garfield due to fallen power cables. We still have that wreck on I-94 eastbound after Little Mac. That's causing stop and go from 11 Mile. Traffic getting around the accident on your left shoulder there. I-94 eastbound after Middle Belt Road. We have another wreck there. And that accident on M59 westbound at Hayes Road is cleared. Now WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Front pushing through. That should be obvious. Highs for the day already gone by the wayside in the 60s. Now we're falling and will continue to fall with a wind advisory into the low 30s today. Maybe even colder in spots, snow showers, maybe a few snow squalls, especially west and north. I've seen some winter weather advisories west and north. That chance of snow showers will continue early tonight, then overnight mainly cloudy, cold upper teens. Suburbs will be colder, but you factor in that wind early. It's going to feel chilly, and Tuesday morning is going to be a cold one. Heavier jackets you probably need in the afternoon if you're going to be out. Mainly cloudy, breezy, and chilly, 29. Wednesday, mostly cloudy, a little bit better, 38. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Well, as we mentioned, as we were closing out the show Saturday, in honor of Pi Day 3/14, which is a day noted by math enthusiasts around the world, of which I am not one. I told myself early on I wasn't good at math, and therefore I wasn't good at math, which is unfortunate. Please don't tell yourself things like that. But the Grand Traverse Pie Company celebrated by serving a free slice of Michigan ABC crumb pie, delivering one to me. Apples, blueberries, and cherries in the crumbly top is one of my favorite pies of all time. It's a perfect complement to the craveable comfort foods offered by Grand Traverse Pie, which now includes chicken pot pie, quiche, and some really good heartwarming soups. And now we're past Pie Day, but we're smack dab in the middle of Michigan Food and Agriculture Month, and they celebrate that whole month with the Michigan fruit pie, whether it be the ABC, apple, blueberry, cherry, or any number of other great pies. And I am reminded that we started with Grand Traverse Pie Company with Mike Busley and his lovely wife, Denise, a long while ago. Mike It's unbelievable because I remember our first broadcast conversation when we were just starting out and how fabulous your business has grown because it's such a good company.
Well, good morning, Paul W. Thank you so much for those kind words and that nice introduction. We're on our 30th year, so yeah, time flies. And Mike Feasy was down there, and I remember, just thinking back of the days back when we first got to work together and know each other. Fond memories, and it's been a great journey. We learn a lot along the way, met a lot of wonderful people, and have a great team. So very blessed in our journey.
Well, I must say, of course, Mike is gone. A lot of people in the last 30 years we've lost. 30 years ago, you were an engineer in management at Lockheed Martin in San Diego. And you could kind of see some of the writing on the wall. Lockheed Martin started cutting its workforce. And so you and Denise was in medical sales, said, we got to do something else. How in the world did you go from being an engineer at Lockheed Martin? How did that turn out to be the Grand Traverse Pie Company?
Well, Paul W., when I hired on, it was General Dynamics in the 80s in San Diego, 20,000 plus employees with company campgrounds, parks. It was the essence of that company. The culture was very strong. Over the course of time in the mid 90s, when I resigned, there were only 230 employees left. So imagine going from 20,000 to 230.
Wow.
The culture, the company wasn't obviously anything like it was. And we had to let a lot of people go. And I knew at some point my number was going to come up, and there was no passion, no satisfaction going to work every day like there was when I started.
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted to own a company that's like, let's just move home. Let's just move back to Michigan, our roots, take our kids, Kelly and Bobby. Let's start over. And we were customers of the Julian Pie Company in the mountains east of San Diego. And we just go up there and relax and have a slice of apple pie and under their big oak tree out front and think, this is what something like this is what we're searching for in our lives. Can we create something like this? And coming through all the turmoil and changes of medical sales and defense contracting, let's really let's flip the page here and do something on our own with a feel-good product where we're connecting with community and our team every day. So put on aprons and make pie. And that's a whole lot different than putting on a suit and sitting through meetings. And, so we started in July of 96, and with the help of Liz Smothers, who was the founder of Julian Pie, she helped train us, and here we are today. So with the help of many, many people, and it's been an incredible journey.
And for me, 96 will always be that date. I remember when I came back full time to start the morning show, because I'd been involved with the radio station for several years before that, doing weekends, doing focus, doing fill-in for JP, all of that. But 96 is when I came back to start my own morning show and did it for nearly 30 years. And you've been doing it for 30 years. And it's been so successful. How many stores now?
We have 11, and we have our, we're in about 800 markets across the Midwest.
I'm sorry. I was just told we're late, and we are late, a whole minute late. We got to run. Congratulations and happy anniversary, Mike Bussey.
All right.
Grand Traverse Pie Company, WJR.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found Good RX. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's Good RX, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to GoodRx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance. As America's #1 motorcycle insurer, Progressive has your back.
Oh, like if I need a replacement part.
Sure, we can help with that.
Ah, nice. Hey, I just entered this online contest for coolest bike in the world. You think maybe you can vote for me?
Actually, we just do insurance, not popularity contests.
Yeah, I know. But what's your email? I'll just send you the link real quick. You can vote like 100 times a day. They'll never know.
To be clear, Progressive has your back for insurance only. So get a quote and see if you can save.
So what I'm hearing is there's a little bit of wiggle room.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Coverage subject to policy terms, limits, and conditions.
Visit Old St. Patrick Catholic Church for their 48th annual Lenten Fish Fry dinners every Friday, February 20th through March 27th from 4:30 till 7 p.m. Dinners include fish, choice of potato or mac and cheese, salad, and a beverage. Adult meals are $18 with discounts for seniors and children. Kids 4 and under eat free. St. Patrick Catholic Church is located at 5671 Whitmore Lake Road in Ann Arbor. For more information, visit stpatricka2.org.
You're hearing the great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR. WJR, Detroit.
A call for other countries to help. On Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Trump says some will after his appeal to help move oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't.
Adding that the level of enthusiasm matters to him.
Well, we want to know, do you have any minesweepers? Well, would rather not get involved, sir. And I said, for 40 years we're protecting you, and you don't want to get involved in something that is very minor. Very few shots going to be taken because they don't have many shots left.
He says Operation Epic Fury has already taken out 30 Iranian mine-laying vessels, in addition to the decimation of its Navy missiles and missile launchers, suggesting the risk to other nations helping in the strait is greatly minimized and calling Iran a paper tiger. There has been public pushback from some key allies. The British Prime Minister has warned he won't let his country be drawn into a wider war. And Germany's chancellor says there will only be a political solution to the conflict with Iran, not military. Iran's foreign minister says from their perspective, the Strait of Hormuz is only closed to Iran's enemies.
It's easy for the foreign minister of Iran to say that the Strait of Hormuz is open to vessels that are traveling through. What he didn't mention is that the Iranians are launching surface-to-surface missiles and drones at vessels in the Persian Gulf.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Israel confirming what it calls a limited ground operation into southern Lebanon, part of the IDF's ongoing effort to target Iran proxy Hezbollah. Taking questions moments ago, President Trump also suggesting his outreach for help is in some cases to see how allies react. Blizzard conditions in parts of the Midwest and stormy weather along the East Coast taking a heavy toll on air travel. More than 8,000 flights delayed or canceled today on top of weekend disruptions. America is listening to Fox News.
So much uncertainty out there, but it isn't your enemy if you have a good retirement plan. And that was the reassuring advice I got from Chris Alberta of Principium.
We've heard a lot about how healthcare premiums are going to go through the roof. If I'm 55, I'm not yet ready for Medicare. Is that the biggest boulder that's rolling down the hill at me, perhaps?
Yeah, it could be one of them. I mean, from the healthcare, estate planning, healthcare costs have to be factored in. Taxation has to be figured in. Many people believe they'll be in an incredibly lower income tax bracket in retirement. That's simply not true for most of my clientele.
Yeah.
But you can make that problem significantly better, so to speak. We can mitigate the disaster that is excessive taxation, especially in the 70s and 80s.
Principium strikes this balance between conservatism and opportunity to get to that retirement space where I'm comfortable and that it delivers on the joy that I hope it will. Call Chris Alberta today, 888-800-8949. That's 888-800-8949. And he's taken so much of his valuable time to explain to me why, not just the how.
2 words, prostate exam. Did your butt just clench? Relax. Screening starts with a simple, finger-free blood test. Around 1 in 8 men in the United States will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. But don't clench. Prostate cancer can have over a 99% 5-year relative survival rate when caught at a localized or regional stage. If you're 40 or older and have a prostate, visit RelaxIt'sABloodTest.com to see if a PSA blood test is right for you. Talk to your doctor about screening and next steps. Sponsored by Novartis.
It's tax season, and at LifeLock, we know you're tired of numbers. But here's a big one you need to hear. Billions. That's the amount of money in refunds the IRS has flagged for possible identity fraud. Now here's another big number, 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, we'll fix it guaranteed. One last big number. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS. Visit LifeLock.com for the threats you can't control. Terms apply.
Williams International in Pontiac is looking for skilled trades talent able to work second and third shifts and will be hosting an on-site job fair Wednesday, March 18th from 4 till 7 p.m. To learn more, visit the careers page at williams-int.com. Michigan's largest real estate and home improvement show is coming to Metro Detroit, March 28th and 29th at the Oakland Expo Center in Waterford. This isn't just a home show, it's a full real estate experience. Meet builders, designers, realtors, lenders, and home improvement experts all in one place. Get real-world advice on buying, selling, renovating, staging, and creating standout home designs. Whether you're a homeowner, future buyer, or real estate professional, there's something for everyone, including family activities, prize drawings, and interactive exhibits. Get advanced discount tickets at largestrealestateshow.com. That's largestrealestateshow.com. Have an authentic Irish experience this St. Patrick's Day with Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Located in the heart of Eastern Market, Wigley's corned beef has been a Detroit tradition since 1924. Call 888-WIGLEYS today or visit Wigleys.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-714-9090. That's 800-714-9090.
This is Focus with Paul W. Smith on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Welcome into Hour 2, Relentless Positive Radio. Nice to be here with the team. Mike Parsons, our executive producer. Danielle Mason running the controls. Rich Luzinski, who keeps track of WJR traffic and weather first. As you're on your way to making each and every day count, each day is a gift. And thanks for choosing to be an important part of the best and brightest audience in all of radio. Got a lot going on. You can stream us from anywhere in the world. You can come back and podcast us if you miss us when we're on from noon to 2. Tomorrow we're on from 11 to 2 for St. Patrick's Day. Be sure to be tuned in. You can get the free WJR app and use it as you will. Right now, Facebook and YouTube pages are live streaming us as we have the perfect sandwich with the daily dose of Dietz. All Talk with Kevin Dietz first, and then us, and then JR Afternoon with Ryan Armani. If you start off with JR Mornings and then stick around for Mitch Album after Ryan and then the sports wrap, you're going to have a wonderful day. I promise it. Let's see. I just had something here I wanted to mention. Well, I can't remember what it was. Here it is. Ford to buy back nearly 32 million shares of its stock.
Wow.
And then it goes on to say, here's what it means. I don't know what it means. So maybe we get somebody on to tell us that tomorrow.
Or Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, we won't do it tomorrow. Tomorrow is a crazy day. Yeah. And I'm trying to find, somebody had said about something that had gone wrong. One of the magazines, I don't know which one it was on my morning look-see at everything. Oh, yeah, here it is. Rolling Stone. Well, not that I depend on them for all insight, but let's just see what they talked about. We're bringing in Dave Rieger because he's our guy. Rieger reviews it. And he told us earlier, the start of the show, we hadn't planned on having him on, but he said all DraftKings picks won. What exactly, Dave, does that mean?
So you remember on Friday?
Yes, I vaguely remember there was a Friday.
We went through in the second half of Rieger Reviews It. We went through the odds for Best Picture, Best Actor, and every favorite that DraftKings picked on Friday won. So there was no surprises last night at the Oscars.
It says here, Rolling Stone, Oscars 2026, the best, the worst, and most, what the heck, I'll say, moments. It says it was a shaky show that was packed with minor production stumbles and few surprises. At least Conan was there to make us laugh. Yeah, I thought Conan did a nice job. I may have fallen asleep a couple times. I had to stay up extra late last night for Kim coming in from the airport, and she had it's a blank show out there, folks, at the airport. You can thank your Democrats for not getting paychecks to the TSA, the hardworking TSA members. It's not good. You can find yourself thinking you're getting on a plane, and when you get up to the door because you're there in plenty of time, they say you can't get on because your luggage didn't come yet. And then they say, yeah, only 2 ATF people showed up for behind the scenes where they check the baggage, x-ray it, and do all of that stuff. So Democrats, approve the paychecks for ATF. You're not going to affect ICE. It's already funded. So stop pretending that's what you're doing, taking some high moral ground on ICE because you don't like it, and a lot of people don't like their tactics. Most people like what they're there to do, though, which is what Congress asked them to do. I digress. The Oscars, I love watching any live show. Did you see, at one time, it's always bad when someone's trying to thank everybody. They worked all their lives to get there, and they retract the microphone.
Yeah.
The microphone disappears into the floor.
They told everybody before the show that the producers told them, do not thank everybody because nobody knows who you're talking about.
Right.
So they told them not to. To do it.
I think that was when they had a tie for best short film or whatever, and so and I forgot who said it. They said it's ironic that the awards for the short films are going to be the longest speeches.
Taking longer than it. That was Conan said that.
Yeah. But yeah, they retracted the microphone, and you could tell it was an awkward moment because nobody knew how to react.
And then the camera went to Conan, and he kind of went, "Oh boy, don't put the camera on me. I didn't keep those people from talking." And then they went back to the people.
Yeah. But
it was crazy.
I missed Conan's opening monologue, which is what I was watching.
I did too.
Because it started at 7. I thought it started at 8.
Yeah. Well, the only reason I guess they started at 7 was to try to get out before 11, and they got out about 20 minutes before 11.
It was only supposed to go to 10:30. So
yeah.
That's what it was scheduled.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So was Sinners the big winner or not?
Sinners was the big winner as far as best actor. The One Battle After Another won best movie.
And that was kind of expected, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And the best director, yeah, all the favorites won. Everything went as planned. That's why you had to bet more money to win money because if you bet the favorites, they were all minus.
So then the one surprise, I mean, maybe there were several, but to me it was a surprise to see Barbra Streisand come out onto the stage.
Yeah.
But she looked infirm at best. Somebody had to kind of lead her out there. If you noticed, she had to take the arm of
someone. There were rumors that she was going to come out and sing the song, and she sang a couple lines, and that was it.
Well, it says here, this was one of the worst moments. Babs and Robert Redford deserved better. In theory, there's no better person to honor the late Robert Redford than his The Way We Were co-star, Barbra Streisand. And there's no better song for her to sing than the movie's title track, which won Best Original Song in 1973. I think that was written by our old friend, Marvin Hamlish, in fact. But in execution, the Robert Redford tribute was a semi-disaster with poor audio.
Well, I guess the question is, who else would have come out and done the tribute to Robert Redford if they thought that was the right thing to do and the right song?
But what they're talking about is that there was poor audio, and there was. I mean, she was trying to talk, and the orchestra's real loud. And I see that. You know what, folks? We see that in television. Heck, it happens in radio, but we see it in television now because television networks, like all broadcasting, have fewer employees than they ever did. They had a lot of employees that were sitting around going, why do we have all these employees? Well, that's one reason. Somebody was paying attention to the audio levels and would have said, bring down the orchestra. But nobody did that. And I see it on the CBS Evening News. I think that new guy, Tony DeCopel or whatever, is very good, but he is surrounded by ineptness. And it's sad. It's unfortunate. Nobody asked me, but I thought I would say it. What else? In terms of the winners and losers, there were no big surprises, I guess.
Nope. Everything kind of went as was predicted.
Yeah. So you didn't make any money on this, is what you're saying?
I didn't make any bets. There wasn't a smart value.
Is this like the first thing lately that you haven't bet on?
No comment on that. I mean, we do have March Madness starting on Thursday. So
oh my goodness!
It is a big time.
Dave was saving his money for that.
I mean, it's probably next to the Super Bowl, probably the biggest gambling per this tournament.
So how is DraftKings picking Michigan State and Michigan? How are they feeling we're going to fare?
I haven't gone through that yet, but I will report back to you.
Would you report back on that?
But Seth Greenberg is picking of ESPN is picking both Michigan State and Michigan to make the Final Four. So.
Wouldn't that be fabulous? We could use that right now, couldn't we?
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. I don't know who else to ask, but you, David.
I'm around. Mike can find me.
Okay. Thank you very much. God bless you.
See ya.
Dave Rieger. Rieger reviews it on Fridays, but he comes in when we need him also for anything because he's an all-around, what do we call those? Jack of all trades? Renaissance man?
Renaissance man.
A Renaissance man. Well, there's see what I say? Fox is screwing up just now. They just had a close-up of some woman walking right toward the camera, and you could see her pores. And then it went off to bars, the colorful bars.
Oh, right. The please stand by.
Yes. So like I said, it's everywhere. There's just not enough people being used in all these positions. And unfortunately, the people in charge at the corporate level in New York, for example, are not going to say, geez, we cut it too close to the bone. We need more people. They're saying things like, oh, boy, I can't wait till AI handles that. I'm sorry to say. All right, we continue in Focus on WJR. Stay with us. How are you feeling? How's your back? How's your leg? How's your sciatica? Well, let me tell you something. March, which is this month, is your lucky month. If you're ready to live a pain-free life, thanks to Michigan's lucky charm, Dr. Saul Kogan at the Nerve and Disc Institute, and his non-surgical, non-invasive treatments for severe and chronic back, neck, and knee pain. You could join thousands of patients like Kim and me, and like Jerry, who had epidurals and nerve blocks for chronic back pain, and now is a new man enjoying a joyful, pain-free life. He's a new man, but he still goes by the name Jerry, and I don't blame him. Or how about Rick? Rick was scheduled for back surgery, didn't get it. Got his intradisc neutrosis, now walks 5 miles, he says, without pain. Intradisc neutrosis helps people with spinal stenosis, bulging and herniated discs, sciatica pain, and degenerative disc disease avoid spine surgery. And Knee Restore RX helps those with osteoarthritis, meniscus tears, and muscle strains avoid knee replacement without shots, pills, or downtime. And lucky you mentioned WJR in March and get a consultation, exam, x-ray, or MRI review and laser treatment, all for just $49 for your first visit. $49. You do have to mention WJR. Mention WJR to take advantage of this great deal. The Nerve and Disc Institute in Farmington, Clinton Township, Grand Blanc, and now Bad Axe. Call 586-416-DISC. 586-416-DISC. Mention WJR. That's 586-416-3472. 586-416-3472. And join the life of those living pain-free. We continue in Focus with Paul W. Smith on WJR.
This St. Patrick's Day, the real luck is waiting at Genesis Cadillac. Celebrating with offers that'll make everyone green with envy. Right now, get 2.9% APR for 60 months plus rebates up to $2,000 on select new Cadillac models. Looking for pre-owned? Shop one of the area's largest selections of certified pre-owned Cadillacs. Visit our 9 Mile Road in St. Clair Shores or shop online today at genesiscadillac.com. Then drive home to your own pot of gold. Genesis Cadillac. Your luck starts here.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
You know what Michigan homeowners are thinking right now?
Is my house ready for spray?
Exactly. Check siding for winter damage and look for peeling paint or cracks.
And make sure grading slopes away from your home. Spring rains plus poor drainage equals wet basements.
For the area's most trusted contractors to help you with your next home project, visit guys at the InsideOutsideGuys.com. That's InsideOutsideGuys.com.
Sponsored by Weather Seal Home Improvements.
What if your tax refund could turn into an even bigger return this year? It can when you invest in new siding or gutters from Weather Seal Home Improvements. For over 37 years, Southeast Michigan homeowners have trusted Weather Seal, the area's premier exterior remodel, using the best materials for beauty, protection, and long-term value. This year, put your tax refund toward new siding, gutters, or even a roof with Weather Seal and get an extra 10% off. That's a smart return. Book your free estimate today at weathersealhomeimprovements.net. That's weathersealhomeimprovements.net.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right. Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
WJR Traffic and Weather First. This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in my garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by the National Electrical Contractors Association, NECA. Put the expertise and skill of NECA contractors to work on your commercial, industrial, or public electrical construction project. NECA members like Williams Electrical and Telecommunications are powering Michigan's future project after project, on time and on budget. Learn more at smcneca.org. Some midday road work on M14 westbound between I-275 and Sheldon Road. I-94 eastbound now closed between Little Mac and Harper Avenue. It's a slow go from 11 Mile. All lanes are currently blocked by emergency crew there. 24 Mile Road closed through traffic in both directions between Hayes and Garfield due to fallen power cables. We still have construction on the Lodge southbound between Glendale Street and Webb Street. Some road work on the Jeffries in both directions between I-275 and Levan. And we've got that broken water main on 14 Mile Road between Drake Road and Farmington Road. Please avoid until further notice. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
We have already had our high temperature today and turning colder tonight down in the teens. We've got some snows in the forecast. Also, some flurries, some light snow showers. Winter hanging tough here. Big, deep, upper level, low pressure giving us that wind and giving us some flurries and snow showers here for this afternoon and tonight. 18 our low tonight. Cloudy tomorrow, high of only 28. Low tomorrow night, 19. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Coming up at 2 o'clock on JR Afternoon, we're going to lighten the mood. Do you have your brackets yet? Michigan and Michigan State headed to March Madness. We'll check in on their road ahead. Will it end in the Final Four? 760 WJR.
Well, that'll be fun. Stick around for that. JR Afternoon, Ryan Ermani. Meanwhile, we're taking care of business here. We know about these 6 kids that died serving their country when their refueling aircraft crashed in Iraq this past week, Thursday. No details that we've seen yet about what happened, but we don't ever want to forget the victims. Major John A. Klinner, 33, of Auburn, Alabama. Captain Ariana G. Savino, 31, of Covington, Washington. Tech Sergeant Ashley B. Pruitt, 34, of Bardstown, Kentucky. Captain Seth R. Koval, 38, of Mooresville, Indiana. Captain Curtis J. Angst, 30, of Wilmington, Ohio, and Tech Sergeant Tyler H. Simmons, 28, of Columbus, Ohio. These are the crew members who died aboard a U.S. Air Force KC-135 Strato tanker. Peter Meyer, the former congressman and Army veteran, is here to talk a little bit about that, those heroes, and the latest in Iran. Peter, always a pleasure.
Thank you for having me on.
Can you tell us anything more? Have you heard anything more about what happened to these kids?
I would say the smartest speculation, kind of looking at some damage to one of the aircraft involved, was that it was likely a mid-air collision. One of the challenges with especially military operations is a lot of the proximity sensors and some of the kind of location broadcasting that you see in kind of normal course of events, especially with civilian air traffic, that helps prevent these type of collisions. Sometimes that can be more harm than good in a scenario where you may have to worry about enemy aircraft or surface-to-air missiles, or other threats. And so that's where, in the military typically turn some of those systems off when they're in a combat zone, when they're flying operational missions in potentially contested airspace. And
Well,
so the speculation is that the two may have collided.
You mentioned this, and it just a bell went off, and we heard that as a potential problem with the helicopter hitting the airplane at Washington, D.C., at the Washington airport, that the helicopter may indeed have had some of that equipment turned off. And nobody's said why. And I'm glad you brought this up, Peter Meyer. I saw this and didn't hear anyone really talking about it. Doesn't mean they didn't. I just might have missed it. But I saw the other KC-135 Strato tanker that was up in the air with them, and their back tail, I don't know, what do you call that? Part of the back tail of the airplane, which is very important for maneuverability and such, was sheared off.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned it.
It's a pretty significant indicator that there was likely a mid-air collision. I would say the one difference, some of the helicopter involved, I believe, in the tragic crash last year along the Potomac, with an Army helicopter that collided with a civilian aircraft that was landing at Ronald Reagan Airport. That aircraft was more of a training aircraft. It didn't necessarily have the latest in kind of anti-collision avionics, and it was flying in an area where the margin of safety is 100 feet, 200 feet, between this helicopter lane and the approach lane. And so, obviously some similarities, but when we're talking about two very large tankers, especially if they're potentially flying at each other, you're not talking about a lot of vertical separation. And if you think about two aircraft that may be traveling 400, 500 miles an hour, when they're heading towards each other, they close miles very, very quickly.
And also you remind us also, Peter Meyer, about that training helicopter thing. They also were wearing night vision goggles, which takes away a lot of their vision, which doesn't make any sense that anything like that would be taking place near the airspace of Ronald Reagan Airport. And I believe, I hope and pray, that they have stopped doing those kinds of missions, training and otherwise, in that area. But back to this one, people would be surprised, and I only say this because in my work, I have been up in airplanes with other airplanes, and you would think when you're in the sky, you can very easily see each other. I'm here to tell you, you cannot. And so you point out brilliantly, Peter, these guys going 500 miles an hour or whatever, when they see each other, they don't have a lot of time to react.
Not at all. And there was a tragic case over Brazil. This is going back now 10 or 15 years, but it was two aircraft. One was a civilian, kind of American private jet, the other a Brazilian airliner. They were heading towards each other on the same trajectory. One thought they were given a different altitude. The private jet didn't even know that they hit an aircraft. They just heard a bump because they were going at each other roughly 1,000 miles an hour combined. And at that moment, if you're not exactly looking straight and looking at that little dot coming towards you, it's incredibly easy to miss that. And
it's astonishing that you brought that up because I was supposed to be on the civilian airplane because a friend
Wow.
of mine was taking delivery of that airplane from the manufacturer. They were flying, and it happened exactly as you said, Peter. They felt a little bump, and they went, "What the hell was that?" And they looked out at the end of their wing, and the flaps that go up, the winglet, was sheared off. And they thought, "Oh my gosh, something must have dropped from a commercial airline way above us, hit the wing." They didn't know what happened until they landed early at a military airport, and they were told, "Yeah, did you hear about that plane crash?" And that's when they put it all together and found out, oh my God, we had a midair collision, and the little private jet survived, and the big airliner filled with passengers did not.
Yeah.
And then the pilots of this private jet, it's not a little private jet, but this private jet, the passengers were held by the government, trying to blame them for the accident. I remember this so well because I was almost in the middle of it. So it's amazing you brought that up as an example, Peter. God bless you for all you do. I can you take a guess on when the heck we declare this war over with Iran?
You know, I hope we see the type of political changes in Iran that will allow the military phase to conclude, you know, as quickly as possible. But the U.S. has degraded 80% of Iran's offensive military capacity. They're not able to do what they were able to do just 2 weeks ago or even 1 week ago. And so now it's really, you know, a moment of looking at leverage and trying to see that political transformation, you know, begin in earnest.
You know, we keep hearing about how they have been degraded, but my God, they still surprise us each day with a big hit.
They only have to be right once. That's the challenge.
You're right. That's the point. You're right. Peter Meyer, former congressman and Army veteran and guest expert on this program often and on WJR. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, sir. Always a pleasure, Paul.
My pleasure. We continue in focus on WJR at about 1:31.
At Average Amy's Coffee Corner, our coffee has caffeine, our muffins are cooked, and our services, well, we're here. Come on by for an average cup of joe.
Average doesn't build great businesses. Cumulus Digital does, outperforming industry benchmarks by more than 25%. We deliver smarter digital marketing to over 4,000 local businesses every month and drive real, measurable growth. You're not average. Your marketing results shouldn't be either. Visit cumulusdigital.com to start outperforming today.
Your child's education is the foundation for tomorrow's leaders. Listen every Sunday at 3 p.m. for School Talks, hosted by Dr. Robert Livernoy. A conversation on all things education, from parents and students to educators and policymakers. School Talks is dedicated to in-depth discussions and analysis with experts on a wide range of topics in education. Sponsored by Clark Construction Company, thoughtfully planning and building educational facilities to foster innovation where students and faculty thrive. Visit clarkcc.com. Estate Planning Legal Services is a proud sponsor of the Paul W. Smith St. Patrick's Day celebration. They offer clear plans to protect your loved ones, reduce probate costs, and ease family burdens regardless of estate size. Estate Planning Legal Services, EPLSPC.com. Planning spring business travel? Start your trip the professional way with Metro Cars. Rather than dealing with crowded airport parking garages, shuttle buses, and long walks through the terminal with luggage and briefcase in hand, let a professional Metro Cars chauffeur pick you up right at your doorstep and take you directly to curbside check-in. For executives and corporate travelers, time and reliability matter. Whether you're catching an early morning flight, arriving for an important meeting, or arranging transportation for visiting clients and leadership teams, MetroCars provides dependable airport transportation designed around your schedule. With experienced chauffeurs on a premium fleet of sedans, SUVs, vans, and buses, MetroCars delivers a comfortable, quiet ride that allows you to stay focused and arrive prepared. Celebrating over 35 years of excellence, MetroCars is proud to serve as the official transportation provider of 760 WJR. Trust the transportation company Michigan business travelers have relied on for decades. Reserve your ride today at metrocars.com. This St. Patrick's Day weekend, keep our community safe from drunk driving. If you celebrate a little too much, don't rely on the luck of the Irish. Use a rideshare or designated driver from your friends at Michigan Auto Law, auto accident attorneys. Have an authentic Irish experience this St. Patrick's Day with Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Located in the heart of Eastern Market, Wigley's corned beef has been a Detroit tradition since 1924. Call 888-WIGLEYS today or visit Wigleys.com.
David is a real Prevagen user and this is his story.
Nice to meet you. My name is David. I've been a pharmacist for 44 years, and I'm from Flowery Branch, Georgia. When I first started taking Prevagen, I noticed stuff just seemed to come together and fit like a jigsaw puzzle. When I have customers come in, I recommend Prevagen. Number one, because it's safe and effective, does not require a prescription, and I've been taking it quite a while myself, and I know it works. I wouldn't recommend something like Prevagen if I didn't think it was worth it because it works so good for me. And I love it when the customers come back in and tell me, David, that really worked so good. Makes my day.
Prevagen, at stores everywhere without a prescription. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Ready to buy, sell, renovate, or reimagine your home? Don't miss Michigan's largest real estate and home improvement show, March 28th and 29th at the Oakland Expo Center in Waterford. Explore exhibitors covering every stage of the home journey, from mortgages and real estate to remodeling, landscaping, and design inspiration. Bring the whole family for interactive exhibits and prize giveaways. Michigan's largest real estate and home improvement show, March 28th and 29th. Grab advanced discount tickets at largestrealestateshow.com. That's largestrealestateshow.com.
The Dan Bongino Show.
It's our movement, okay? It's ours. We built it.
Hard truths.
Remember, I just told you, flooding the zone with facts not related to evidence is not getting to truth, it's obscuring it. Don't accuse me of partisan bias here. This show tries to get to a truth lodestar by showing you things called evidence, not random facts unrelated to the point. Well, let's get to truth. Let's produce actual evidence. There's only one choice, man.
The Dan Bongino Show. Follow and listen on your favorite platform.
See you there.
Never miss the Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose.
The Daily Dose
The Daily Dose
of Deets. The Daily Dose of Deets. The top of mind topics and stories.
Because America keeps building, innovating, and growing.
But at a depth and breadth that only Kevin Dietz can conceive.
Love doesn't have to be built on these grand gestures.
It's Can't Miss Radio.
You can't fake that kind of leadership Verlander is going to be able to bring to Scooball.
Kevin's own unique take on news and entertainment that'll get you talking all day.
Social media should not get a pass just because it's digital.
And into tomorrow. The Daily Dose of Dietz. First thing out of the gate on All Talk with Kevin Dietz. Weekdays at 9 on WJR. Thanks for listening to WJR and Focus. Here's Paul W. Smith.
You know, that was a long time ago. Maybe we get my friend David Rimmer on, who was on that plane that crashed in with that airliner. And I think either the airliner or both of the planes didn't have the transponders on for whatever reason. We don't know. One was a brand new plane being picked up and delivered. That's the plane that my friend David was on, invited me to go along for the ride, but I had an international auto show I had to go to, so I couldn't do it. So he invited another friend from the New York Times to go on the plane with him, and it became a very big story, of course, and the New York Times has done some great stories, but maybe it's still a very tough topic for David to talk about. So I don't know if that we'd ever be able to get him on to talk about it. Anyway, I'd forgotten about it myself until it was just brought up here by Mr. Meyer. All right. Federal Communications Commission Chairman Brendan Carr is said to be drawing sharp criticism after warning U.S. broadcasters that their licenses could be at risk over coverage of the ongoing war with Iran. Well, there's a story I haven't paid attention to at all, but luckily, WJR's Marie Osborne, Director of Community Affairs and News, in fact, is all over the story and is here to talk about it. Good afternoon, Marie.
Hi, Paul. So this all came to light in a weekend social media post. That's where Brendan Carr accused some networks of promoting misinformation and cautioned them to change course ahead of their next license renewals. And his comments came as he amplified an online message from President Trump, who took issue with reporting on damage to U.S. military aircraft in Saudi Arabia. The president suggesting news outlets were framing events in a way that undermines the country's warfare efforts. So Carr's warning immediately triggered some pushback from free speech advocates and Democrat lawmakers, critics arguing that the government pressure on broadcasts over editorial choices runs counter to First Amendment protections, and it echoes previous concerns about Carr's approach to media oversight. The FCC chairman has repeatedly floated the idea of targeting station licenses over programming decisions, moves long-time regulatory experts say could face some big legal hurdles. The latest, this latest little dust-up arrives as the administration faces some weak public supports for the conflict, and tensions rise over disruptions to that critical oil shipping route in the Straits of Hormuz, which continue to send global prices for gas and oil higher.
So would this, where do we go with this? Would this be easy to follow up on? Although you couldn't get anyone in the media to investigate it because they're damning the media, and that goes for Brendan Carr, that goes for the president of the United States, it goes with War Secretary Pete Hegseth. They're all criticizing the media, so I'm not sure you get the media to investigate. But Mr. Carr accused broadcasters of, quote, running hoaxes and news distortions, and I'm just wondering that. I would think, wouldn't that be a relatively easy thing to run down and see if that's true or not?
To see whether or not they were reporting fake news?
Yes, basically, if they were running hoaxes and news distortions. And I don't think they should. I agree they shouldn't do that. Not a news organization. They're the last bastion of those that we're supposed to rely on and can't anyway. But couldn't you just find that and prove it or disprove it?
Right. But they're kind of he was just kind of making this blanket statement. The president also suggesting that he didn't like the way some media were framing things that were happening in the war effort. And so it's hard to, it's up to them to track that down or to point to a specific example of this right here is fake. This article here is fake, or this broadcast has been fake. So they're not doing that. They're just kind of making this blanket statement.
Well, one thing the president talked about, the Wall Street Journal reporting 5 American refueling planes had been struck in Saudi Arabia. He claimed the headline was intentionally misleading. Well, tell us how it's misleading. Were the planes struck or were they not? I don't get that. He also says, but this is the way he is, he also accused the news media of wanting the United States to lose the war.
Yeah.
This is just the way this president sadly communicates in many ways.
And remember, there was a kerfuffle a few weeks ago when Pete Hegseth pushed back in a press conference and stated that he thought the news media was purposely focusing on the deaths that had happened early on in this war effort as a way to discredit the president or make the president look bad. And, a lot of reporters were asking, well, are you suggesting then that we don't report on the fact that American lives were lost in this effort? So that kind of tamped that down. But,
sure,
this is a message that's going out, more than once.
Marie, do you know if the report that I just grazed on, didn't dig deep into, that Pete Hegseth was unhappy with photographs of himself and therefore banned certain photographers? Was that a true story? Is there any way to verify that?
I'll have to check that out. I don't know that that
you saw what
happened.
I'm talking about, though, right?
Actually, I didn't. So when you were talking about it piqued my interest as well. But I don't remember that story.
We'll see if it's true, because I think it says an awful lot about somebody who is in the middle of a war with the potential of more people dying, that he could actually have time to worry about what the pictures of him look like when he's holding a press conference.
Yeah.
I know where he got that. He got that from his boss. But really, I'd love to know the rest of the story. And Paul Harvey's not with us anymore, so it's going to be the rest of the story with Marie Osborne.
I'll see what I can find for you. We need more politicians like Carl Levin. Remember, he didn't care what he looked like in front of the camera. He just said what he had to say and he moved on, right?
God bless him. Yep. Yep. And though we didn't always agree by any stretch, but we always got along. I respected what he was trying to do, and I do believe he loved our country, even though the people who are against him say anybody who's liberal doesn't love our country. That's just not the way we're going to get anywhere, folks. So anyway, Marie, thank you very much. Always
Thank
a good
you.
job. Marie Osborne here on WJR. You want to talk about people who do a good job? I'm going to tell you that's my friends at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electric. These folks have done a good job. I've known them almost as long as they've been in existence. I haven't known them for all 50 years, but I've known them for a very long time. I've known the family, and I'm happy to say they have resisted the urge that a lot of other heating, air conditioning, cooling, whatever companies couldn't resist. And that is, they have not sold out to another big company. You'd be amazed at how many of these kinds of companies have sold out to another company, and they just keep the same family name there and make you believe that this is what's going on. I'm here to tell you that Dan Pelko, Crystal Klempert-Pelko are still in charge and running Family Heating, just like the family has for 50 years. So that, first of all, I think is important to know, that you're getting what you always thought you were getting. You're getting the Klempert family, basically, there, the next generation. And so when people come to your home, it's Family Heating. It's their employees at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. It's not a bunch of hired contractors, which is what you're getting at a lot of other places. And so as the sound, smells, and warmth of spring have finally arrived here in Michigan, today maybe being accepted, we do have the threat, and we do get this feeling. A lot of people around me getting their power outages all the time now. My power went off the other day, and my generator kicked on right away, and what a godsend. We've got these nasty spring storms already, and too many of us have been caught off guard with power outages that these storms can leave behind. But my friends at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are definitely here to help. There is no company I trust more, because I know the family, I know the company, I know none of their people work on commission. This year, you can be ready for Mother Nature with a reliable standby generator. Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical offers generator installations, generator maintenance, generator repairs. By the way, did you know that if your generator is not serviced by a certified technician, it will void the manufacturer's warranty? And if you don't receive maintenance after 200 hours of runtime, that can also void your warranty. The technicians at Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical are Generac certified to keep your generator working. Give your family the peace of mind that comes with knowing if the power goes out, your lights will stay on, and your refrigerators and everything else. With locations in Garden City, Madison Heights, and White Lake, they've been serving Southeast Michigan for over now 55 years. Visit FamilyHeating.com to schedule your free estimate today. FamilyHeating.com. See what Dan Pelko, Crystal Klempert-Pelko, the next generation, can do for you with Family Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. FamilyHeating.com. You'll be so glad you did. I am. We continue in focus on WJR.
I'm Adam Devine, Chief Fundraiser for Children's Miracle Network. We'll fun it up. It better be fun. Have you ever wondered how our network actually works? Oh, wonder no more. With the support of partnering businesses and individual donors, we help raise crucial funds for 170 children's hospitals across the United States and Canada. Hospitals that provide life-changing care for all kids. Visit us online at cmn.org.
Catch School Talks with Dr. Robert Livernoy.
Join us this week for a special edition of School Talks inside the Michigan School Machine, where we'll talk discipline.
School districts are in the best position to judge for themselves what type of penalty is appropriate in their school environment. Obviously, the big ones that are on the radar today are weapons. Bringing a firearm to school is a mandatory expulsion offense.
School Talks, Sundays at 3 on WJR.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right. Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Have an authentic Irish experience this St. Patrick's Day with Wigley's famous Eastern Market corned beef. Located in the heart of Eastern Market, Wigley's corned beef has been a Detroit tradition since 1924. Call 888-WIGGLEYS today or visit Wigleys.com.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. I started Blindster in my garage over 15 years ago to make custom blinds easy and affordable for everyone. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Plus, we guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WJR Traffic and Weather First is sponsored by Paramount Roofing. Looking for a roofing company you can trust? Paramount Roofing delivers a 5-star roofing experience made easy. Get your instant free roof quote at weareroofing.com. That's weareroofing.com. Built to last, backed for life with no money down and 5 years, 0% interest. Residential and commercial roofing, Paramount Roofing. Some midday road work on M14 westbound between I-275 and Sheldon Road. I-94 eastbound now closed between Gratiot and Harper Avenue. You're slow from 11 Mile. All lanes are currently blocked by emergency crew. Watch out for a vehicle fire on I-94 eastbound after E-course. That's blocking your left lane. Expect some stop and go from Middle Belt. That's also slowing you down on the westbound side of I-94 as well between Telegraph and E-course. 24 Mile Road closed to through traffic in both directions between Hayes and Garfield due to fallen power cables. And we've got some debris blocking your right lane on the Lodge southbound after Wyoming Street. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel. Here's your forecast.
Winter makes a comeback for mid-March. We've already had our high today. Temperatures falling this afternoon in the 30s. 18 tonight with some snow flurries. Cloudy Tuesday, high 28, low 19. And there are wind advisories up for much of the state here today. Afternoon snows possible Wednesday, 37, and the 50s are back late week Thursday and Friday. I'm meteorologist Scott Lauriamore at the Weather Channel on 760 WJR, where Michigan comes to talk.
Call us or text us. The number's the same. 1-800-859-0957. 1-800-859-0WJR. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto Accident Attorneys. Visit autolaw.com. That's autolaw.com.
Let me see here. I just had this story. High impact winter storm continues across northern Michigan and the UP. Last I heard, thousands of people were still without power. Did you hear that as well?
Yeah, I think the last I heard, I want to say 80,000. And
Yikes.
yeah, it looks like, I mean, the upper peninsula just got completely buried under. Then, of course, the northern half of the lower peninsula. But last year, they just recently got the funding approved to be bailed out from last year's storm.
Yeah, this is not good. This is not trending in a way that any of us are going to embrace or like. We'll stay on top of the story. What's this story you sent me? Are U.S. flights safe? Feds say yes, but signs of danger are growing. What's that about?
Yeah, I think it's just what we talked about with Peter Meyer or earlier in the hour, where right now they have enough people to safely staff the airports and the TSA. But as this goes on longer and longer, I mean, what they say, like 300 TSA agents have quit just because this is the second time they've dealt with it in a short period of time.
They have to pay their bills.
Right. So eventually, the longer this shutdown goes, the more TSA agents are going to quit, the less are going to show up for work. And then obviously you can't safely staff an airport that way.
Democrats, stop doing this to your people. I know you care about power. Everybody in politics does, Democrat, Republican, Independent. But the reality is you're not touching ICE, which is what you say you're against. Fund DHS. That will get the TSA people paid. That will get the Coast Guard people paid. Just do the right thing. Do your job.
And from what I understand, the House did pass it, but they're waiting on the Senate.
Well, there is no excuse for this to keep going on like this. None, zero. No excuse whatsoever. I keep seeing this headline. I don't read into it, and I should. Trump delivers ultimatum to Iran. What does that mean?
You know, I feel like he's delivered a lot of ultimatums to
Maybe
Iran
too many.
and everyone. Yeah, it's like, God, what was that? The red line that they crossed last week, and we didn't follow through on the threat. Once you do that, then they know not to take you seriously.
Well, let me see if there's any positive reasoning here. We've been told by the president, and I believe this, that because of all of the places he's opened up to drilling and to oil exploration, that the United States, has plenty of oil, plenty of gas, plenty of good, clean coal. So when the president said many countries should send warships to help open the Strait of Hormuz, this shipping route, of course, it's become the flashpoint in the Iran war. All of these other countries, China, France, Japan, South Korea, and UK, depend on the oil going through the Strait of Hormuz. Supposedly, if I've been paying attention, we don't. Is that correct or not? Hasn't he said we already have plenty of oil? We don't depend on ships going through the Strait of Hormuz?
I know we use a lot less than the 20% of worldwide oil that goes through the Straits of Hormuz. I know it's much lower, but, I got to say, I feel like the explanation when it comes to oil prices changes every time they go up. From what the last explanation I heard is that oil is a global price. So even if you have plenty, you're in your part of the world, any disruption affects the entire supply line. That's how I understand it.
All right. And let me just send out a big heart to Temple Israel. Unfortunately, they're good at this, showing resilience after an attack. This is the case with all Jewish people around the world, the resilience they show. But at Temple Israel, to have their Shabbat service the day after the attack and to show their strength and their faith is truly exceptional. And I didn't want that to go by without mentioning it. I certainly don't want it to go by that, in fact, we have a great show up next called JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermani.
Paul,
And
I'm really
Ryan,
looking forward to it.
Well, I love the fact that you're going to look at the NCAA brackets.
Got it.
And that you're going to hold our hand through that. You might want to get Dave Rieger on because he uses DraftKings. They picked and won all the Academy Awards, and I bet they're going to be right on top of the NCAA as well.
Whatever he's picking, I'm picking the opposite.
Do you fill out the brackets? I always wait until after the tournament to fill out the brackets. I've been much more successful.
Right. It's much better that way. I do fill one out. You'd be surprised to know who I have winning it all.
Well, does that mean I have to wait and listen to your show?
You got it.
Oh, what a
tease.
hook. Now I'm hooked. And I have so much to do, but nothing more important than staying tuned for JR Afternoon with Ryan Ermani. Go on and make it a great one. Regards, Paul W.